good.
You ready?
Yep.
1, 2, and 3. Babe, I'm trying to lock in. I'm trying to lock in. I'm trying to lock in.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Do you see this out here?
Go ahead.
In my element, okay? Don't laugh. Don't laugh. We're
Okay.
gonna lock in.
Oh, we
Okay,
can never
ready?
act together? Okay, here we
No.
go.
Ready? Set.
Yes.
Welcome back to the She Cultivates podcast. My name is Elizabeth Savion, and thank you for joining me on another episode. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this podcast and leave a review. All of that helps us to grow, and I'm just so excited for today's episode. We have a special guest today, which is something that I know we haven't been around for the past 8 months or so, or 9 months, and when I took a break from the podcast, I did not think it was going to be a long break, but life happened, an amazing relationship happened, and just wanted you guys to get to know him. So this episode will be a fun one. And so, babe,
Absolutely.
I know you want to laugh.
I do. I've been wanting to crack up the whole time.
We tried to do this intro, okay? And he's like laughing. But anyways, you guys will get to know him today. And so welcome to She Cultivates podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here. And yeah, appreciate you having me.
Of course.
Okay.
I know we posted on social media. Our relationship around like August, it was like our hard launch.
Mm-hmm.
And then over this weekend, got engaged.
Made it happen. Yeah.
And so we're
Very
engaged
happy.
now, and it's like a whole nother season. And so we're going to do a part 2 episode for that because I feel like that's just its own thing. But we want to just talk about like how, first, can you share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah,
for those that don't know you.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Like, are you Latin? Are you not? Are you Arab? Because I know people sometimes say that.
I know, it's true. Yeah, so, well, where I'm from, I'm born and raised in New York City. Lived there for 21 years. Moved out of, New York City in at the very, very end of 2014, like the last week. And then moved down to Florida. Started my life in Florida in 2015. But yeah, I'm 4th generation American. Yeah, so my ethnic background is Puerto Rican. So yeah, I grew up in the Pentecostal church, in Puerto Rican family, but I'm 4th generation American. Like, I was born in the States. My parents, my grandparents, it was my great grandparents who migrated from Puerto Rico to New York City. So yeah, I grew up speaking English at home, in school, so I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, I'm more American than anything.
Un poquito.
Un poquito.
Un poquito. And we're teaching
like,
it.
Not even. Yeah, exactly. I really like when people ask me like where I'm from, like I'll say New York. Like, New York is where I'm from. Like, that's home to me. Puerto Rico was just that island that I knew my family was from, and I would visit every summer and some Christmases.
Yeah.
So yeah, and hey, I grew up eating the food. I grew up around the music. And I take a lot of pride in it because, I mean, outside of wanting to step out of my comfort zone when I moved down to Florida, by taking salsa classes, like another reason why I took salsa class was because I did want to take more pride in my Puerto Rican culture. I was like,
which salsa is that?
Yeah, I was like, Spanish. I was like, yeah, we can learn that later. I think something that I can pick up fairly quickly is salsa dancing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I took it up, and
now he's
great.
an advanced dancer.
Advanced dancer, yes.
And that goes into our story,
As you are
which
too.
is, thank you. I love that though, because yes, you are definitely New Yorican, and I feel like the longer we're together, and we actually went to New York for like our birthday month,
So
and
fun.
so I got to see like New York from like a real New York experience, not Times Square. We actually didn't even go to Times
We
Square.
walked through it, but it was fast.
We're
It's
like,
like,
we're
yeah.
going to the subway. We are doing
Yes.
all the other things, and so it was like super fun. And
Yeah, that was
seeing
great.
that, because I feel like ultimately, like that is real. Like when you travel with someone from there, it's a different experience.
Yeah.
And we had a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
It
So
really was. It was a
we
great
went
time.
to, I think one of my favorite thing that we did, aside from like all the coffee shops, was like
Coffee
checking
was so
out
good.
your favorite Italian
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, the favorite pizza spot.
Yeah, your
Yeah. And then I did show you my favorite Italian food
yeah.
spot too. Yeah, so I
Yes,
showed you
he loves
both.
Italian,
I do.
and
Yeah, I
I'm more
love.
the Mexican food over
Yeah.
here.
So no, I'm not Arab. If there's any other like culture that I guess I take
hmm
or that I am enthusiastic about, I guess it would be Italian culture
Yeah,
because I just love Italian food.
I know.
But Puerto Rico will always be number one. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I own where I'm from. Puerto
hmm
Rican, love the food, and yeah, like nothing to me beats a home cooked Spanish meal. That
Yes,
will
and
always be
his
my
dad
favorite.
cooks the best
He really
food ever.
does.
So
He
like
really
every
does.
Sunday we go to his dad's house, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so fun because that's
Yeah.
something also that I'm not used to. Like you guys know, like home cooked meals. Like I'm very like mixed cultures because of like me moving around so much, and so I feel like it's just I love Puerto Rican culture and I love like the Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
like my favorite thing. I'm like, oh, I get rice and
Yeah,
beans and
rice, beans,
tostones and
tostones,
all the things.
pastelillos.
Yes. So definitely love it. And so it's been a lot of fun. Like honestly, like in behind the scenes, like in real life, like we've been living it. And so now we're like sharing it into the world. And
Yes.
so
Broadcasting it, making
yes.
it known, even though the whole world pretty much already knows
Oh my
ever since
gosh.
you posted it on Instagram and TikTok.
That's the part. We've already had two people in real life that are like, congrats. And then he's like, wow, they know. I'm like, yes, because I posted it on social media. And
No.
that was something that, how did you feel like when I told you, like, I had a podcast and like I was like on social media? Like, how did you feel about that?
I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I didn't think much about that. I thought I was fascinated that you had your own business.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wow, she has her own business. I admire that. I admire that a
Mm-hmm.
lot because entrepreneurship is something that I value, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the fact that you're on that path,
Mm-hmm.
that's really what I admired. I mean, how you
Yeah.
were doing it, utilizing social media, doing it through a podcast, which
Mm-hmm.
is a very unique way to run business. Yeah, I thought that was cool too. But it was the fact that you're an entrepreneur. That's
Yeah.
really what wowed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Overall positive. Like I
Yeah.
loved it all.
Yeah.
But entrepreneurship is what really, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's one of the things about you that fuels me, that makes me
Yeah.
want to, keep going after my goals, my ambitions.
Yes. And you will.
So,
You're
yeah,
killing it.
absolutely.
But yeah, that was something that was a green flag in the beginning. And so we'll go a little bit into our story of how we even met.
Mm-hmm.
But that was something that I always appreciated of you. Like you were never like intimidated by me, or you weren't like, oh, like you have like this, I don't know, like this brand or whatever. Like you were just like, oh, that's really cool. And
Yeah.
I honestly, what's crazy is like in the beginning, I really didn't even talk about like what I do. And like until you went to my event, I feel like that
Yeah.
was the first time you're like, oh, like that's cool. That's really cool what you do.
Yeah, it was like before I went to your event, I was aware that you
Mm-hmm.
of like what you did. I knew you had your own brand
Mm-hmm.
and that you were bringing women together and
Mm-hmm.
like kind of forming a community.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't too sure of like what the message was
Yeah.
until we went to the 5-year
Yeah.
anniversary,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got to see everyone there, and what they, I saw from a firsthand experience like how the positive impact that you put on women's lives, and that's where I was very like wowed, and I was like, it just made me admire you and what you do all the more.
Oh,
So
thank you, babe. Yeah, he's
absolutely,
been very supportive
yeah,
through all the seasons of business, this past year. And so let's go to the fun stuff. How
heck
did
yeah.
we meet? So do you want to share?
I do.
Yeah.
I love
He
telling
loves
this
this story.
story.
He's like, my turn.
Oh yes, no, because I do love our story.
Yeah.
And no offense to anybody out there and how they meet their person, but there was just like certain ways that I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I don't really want to meet my person this way, um, and I wasn't sure how it was going to happen. I didn't think too much about it, but like now that I'm in a committed relationship and I think back to like how we met, and it truly is amazing. And basically, yeah, so I was at work and I was working with two clients, and I opened up a business account for them, and they were really nice people. We had a really good conversation. We were getting along really well, and at the end of the conversation, they had known a few things about me, that I like to dance salsa, and that I'm Puerto Rican, all that stuff, that I'm from New York, and then the girl, one of the clients, she says to me, she's like, Danny, I know someone who I think would be a great fit for you. She's like, she's really sweet. She's so down to earth, and she likes to dance salsa. You should. I mean, if you ever meet her, like it would, you guys would really hit it off. So I was like, well, do you have a picture of her? So she pulls out her phone. She pulls out a picture of this girl, and I see the girl, and it's yours truly, Liz. And I'm just like, I've seen that girl before. I was like, she goes to where I take salsa classes at. I go to this place called Salsa Heat, and it's like she goes there. And then she was like, oh my God, like that's even better. Like if you ever see her, like make sure that you like introduce yourself to her, like just get to know her. Like she's super great. I think you guys would hit it off. So I was like, yeah, great. And that was in September 2023. So then they leave my office. I never see them again. So out of sight, out of mind. Like, yeah, sure. I saw a beautiful woman. I saw her Instagram page that day, but out of sight, out of mind. I just went about living my life. So then take it now, January 2025. I go to Salsa Heat on a random Monday night, just to do my ordinary class taking. And I see my cousin there. And with my cousin, I see she's with a girl. And that girl is Liz. And the minute I saw you, I was like, oh, like it came back to me, like it hit me. And I was just like, oh, snap. Like, that's that girl. Like, that's that girl that those girls were telling me about. I was like, damn. Like, and I was like, yeah, she is like really cute. And I'm like, she's with my cousin. Like, it's a shoo-in. Just go say hi. So yeah, like it was, I remember just going over. And I just went over to my cousin. I was just like, hey, good to see you here. And she's like, oh, hey, how you doing? And then she introduced me to you and one other person that was there. So then, yeah, like I remember, like that's when you and I like first officially met.
Yeah.
And then from that, we saw each other a couple of times in salsa
Just
class.
in class. And we were kind of like starting to talk, because I feel like at that point, how you knew Ashley, which is his cousin, I had known her for a few years. And so I was like, oh, okay. So like when I would see you, we would just like make small talk.
Correct. So yeah, like we just saw each other. Yeah, we would make small talk, and then finally, like it was in February. It was. I remember we were talking, and like right before class, I told you I was like, I have a really interesting story that I would like to share with you. It's like when you have a moment, like I wanna share it with you, and then you're like, you look at me, and you're just like.
About what?
Really? Like about what? Like is it bad? Like I'm like, no, it's like it's good. It's good. It's a small world kind of story. So she was like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And that was like right before class started. So now we go into class, and like we're in the middle of class, and she was like, can you tell me now? And I was just like, no, I can't tell you now. So then we do our salsa class, and then at the end of class, like we change back into our regular shoes, and then we step outside, and then I tell you the story of how I met two women at my job who told me about you, and that if I ever meet you, like make sure I introduce myself and get to know you. And I was hooked right from when I saw you. I was like, she's super cute, this girl. Like, yeah, I want to definitely get to know her. So yeah, and then we I think you and I were talking for a little bit.
Yeah, you're so smooth.
And then I just threw it out there. I was just like, what are you doing right now? Do you want to go grab a drink or something? So then you were like, well, I don't drink, but I'll grab a mocktail. So then right before we went, you said to me like, okay, so just so you know, I do have to be up really early tomorrow morning. So I can only be out for a little bit, like maybe 30 minutes. And I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. Like I have work the next day too, so wasn't worried about it. And then we end up going to Bar Louie. And we ended up being there for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
The conversation just flowed. We had a great time. Yeah. It was a good conversation. Got to learn about you and where you're from and all that stuff. And yeah, I just knew that after that first interaction, just an hour and a half talking to you, I was like, I just met my future wife.
That's
I knew it.
crazy.
I just knew it.
That's
I was like, I
crazy.
just met my future wife.
And he was so nonchalant about it. He's like, just I'll talk to you later. I'm
Yeah.
kidding. He was not. He was not. But I love that.
Yeah,
I love
so
that.
and it's odd. Like, you just I thought all that like was like made for TV. It wasn't real.
Mm-hmm.
Like when whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think anything of that. I didn't think that was like
Mm-hmm.
true or real. But no, when I met you,
Mm-hmm.
I felt pretty confident. I felt really good about us, and I was like, yeah, I mean, if she lets me, this is gonna go somewhere.
Yeah, it was like this is real.
Yeah.
And I think from my side, so the person that it was about that actually like talked to him in his office was Carolina. So Carolina, thank you, love you. She is the founder and the co-owner of Hi Hello Labs, where I was recording my podcast. So I had known them since 2022, and then I had been salsa dancing since 2022 and had known Ashley, which is his cousin, for like 10 years. Like she took pictures at my sister's wedding and I knew her sister and her family, and it was just so crazy how it's like, oh my god, all these like little strings like
Yeah.
attaching us, like connecting us, but like we didn't meet until then. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
like that moment. Because Carolina had told me, she had mentioned like when I was in podcasting, like one day in the office, she's like, don't hate me. She's like, but I gave your number to some guy. She's like, so if someone comes up to you in salsa, then like, no, that happened. And I like totally forgot about it. When he meets me outside and he tells me about the story, it was like, oh my God, this is the guy. Like, that's freaking crazy. And I was so like strong about not dating guys in salsa. And I would always be like, absolutely not. Like, like this is like my Zen place. Like, this is like my go to place. Like, I don't want to ruin that for myself. And so, the only reason really why I was even open to it is because of those
Yeah.
connections. So, like, if he would have just asked me, like, from just casually, I would have hesitated. I would
Yeah.
have been like, like I feel like he would have had to to,
If I didn't have
to
those
really
references,
try, yeah.
yeah.
But definitely it was like I felt like, oh well, if they know him, and they think that we're a good fit, like yeah, like I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And
So
so
appreciate you guys. Thank you.
yes, they really helped the in.
Yeah.
And there's something else too is that day why I had said that I was leaving, like I had to be up early, is because literally the next day I was gonna get my results of an MRI scan to see if I had a tumor in my brain. Like that is insane. And what's crazy about it is that I also felt like that, like YOLO, like it is what it is. Like, well, I don't know what tomorrow brings,
Yeah.
but like today I'll be present and like why not,
Yeah.
And so that's really what happened, and like
Worked
why I was
out.
so open to like going out with you. And of course, I
Mm-hmm.
thought he was super handsome,
Thank you.
and charming, and like we had already been like just talking about stuff, and I'm like, oh, like we have some things like I was curious,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then that night, I just feel like the conversation flowed. Like even our humor, like was like very
100%.
similar.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, like I'm being like too comfortable too quick. Like I need to calm down.
Yeah,
And
it
then
was
even
fun.
like the questions, and it just like it was exciting,
Yeah.
And I feel like I hadn't felt like that in a long time. Like because you can go on dates and it's like okay, but it's like like I don't know if I would do that again, But like
Mm-hmm.
for you, it was like, oh, that was so fun. Like I
It
want to do it
was.
again. Like I want to
Yeah.
get to know you, and
It's
like
good vibes.
yeah, like we'll see like where this goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then just yeah, the whole salsa thing was just
Yeah.
crazy.
It was.
So from your point of view, like what was your, I guess, first impressions of me? Or like what are the things that you were like, okay, this is different? Because if you say this is like the first, like from the first day you knew.
Yeah. I mean, it really was just a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the only way I could describe it. It's like when you know, you really
Mm-hmm.
do know. It was a feeling. I thought, yeah, we had good rapport.
Mm-hmm.
You were really easy to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I did feel like I was speaking to someone that I kind of knew for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, no, that was definitely one of the reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just that gut feeling, that intuition,
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, that it's like if I really do want to be intentional with you,
Mm-hmm.
like it can go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I knew you weren't someone that I could just mess around with
Mm-hmm.
or just play games with. Like that's just not. And I wasn't even trying to be that kind of person either.
Yeah.
I was just like no, this is someone that you take serious.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was my mindset going into it, as after we first went out for the first time. But yeah, I just kind of had that feeling. It was just
Mm.
that feeling, and it's what really hooked me. It's what
Yeah.
like it made me very curious to keep going on, and
Yeah.
so like, yeah, let's just see where this goes.
Yeah. Were you in that mentality of like being in a relationship when we met? Would you say it was
Yeah,
like the right time, like the right timing?
yeah, it was definitely the right timing because at that point I was in a better place to be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I was actively looking for a relationship. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of was just living my life, and
Mm-hmm.
um, and I felt, yeah, I was just kind of in a place where, like, hey, if I meet, a girl that I like, I'll see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I was open to a
Yeah.
relationship. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was definitely like in that place for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But I feel like I've always kind of been in a place, like I've always been a relationship kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a matter of finding the woman that I want to be with,
Yeah.
and yeah, after my first date with you, yeah, you were up there.
You were.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I may actually want to be with this woman. So,
Yeah.
so yeah,
No, I think the timing was like great, like I definitely think that like I was more open, to dating this in 2025. And I was also like I felt like good where I was at, at a better place. It's definitely one of those things that like you always think you're going to be like perfect. At least that's how I did, how I thought it was going to be like, oh, like I'm going to be like, like at my peak and then I'll
hmm
find the love of my life and like blah blah blah, right? But I feel like I definitely saw also how like when you just let things be and unfold organically,
yeah,
like it works out so much better.
it really does.
So I think what felt differently too is that I was just like letting it be, and like, okay, the second day. And then I was like, okay, the third day. And then I was like, okay, like, wow, we're like seeing each other a lot more, we're
Yeah.
like excited.
hmm
Because literally in 2 months, like by April, so we went on our first date. We met in January, went on our first date in February. We were already official
By April 13th.
April.
Yeah,
And then it was like, okay,
happened a
we're
lot sooner than I
yeah,
expected.
and I remember
Yeah,
you told me that you're like,
yeah.
wow, like 2 months.
hmm
we're, we're in
Absolutely.
this.
Yeah.
So it was like the timeline of it, but also didn't feel like rushed. It felt like we just
Felt right.
naturally,
Yeah.
yeah, like went into it. One of our first dates, the Hawkers date.
hmm
I remember I was so anxious, like about like, oh guys, it was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. Like he was like we had such a good time. We went to eat, then we went bowling, and then what else did we do? We
So
went.
yeah, we went out to eat to Hawkers, then we went bowling. My
Mm-hmm.
phone died.
Yeah, your phone died on the
So my
way.
phone died. But you were very cool about that.
Mm-hmm.
You were just like, yeah, it was a funny moment,
Yeah.
right? Rather than like it being something to be embarrassed about, like you
Yeah.
were,
Yeah.
it was funny. So, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was cool. But yeah, like I remember we're at Hawkers and we're both eating, like our food is there.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Oh, you're such a slow eater, and like you're so graceful with your food." And I'm just like, "Yeah, that's just kind of how I am." The truth was that I was nervous. I was
He
very
was so
nervous.
nervous because now he like eats my food too.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
it's like
he
I
devours.
inhale. That's how it's always been. I inhale my food.
Yes.
But yeah, but when you're on a first official date,
Yeah, just the
it's
nerves.
yeah, you get
Yeah.
nervous. I mean, you all know how that's like. So yeah, it's yeah, it was just I was just nervous, but it was all good. We had a great time. It was
Yeah.
a great first date. So that was
No,
a good time.
it was. And I just felt like, yeah, that was like the main thing. It was like I loved how I felt, like I loved like I was like, wow, like I was myself. Like I was not trying to be someone else, And I feel like from when we started, I was like, this is like me. This is like my story, like, versus trying to like impress or like trying to be like, hey, like pick me. It was like
Correct.
this is like where I'm at. And I think that's the difference of like being like maybe older,
Yeah.
like more mature and to have learned some things, that now it's like, okay, I've done that before. I'm not going to do that again. Like now, I just want to like see where it's at, and I have certain standards, and like you do too, And it's like, how can we see if it's a good fit,
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
and
And I think that's part of just self confidence.
yeah,
It's just not trying to be someone that you're not. Just
yeah,
being yourself. Being
mm-hmm,
yourself because if you really have intentions with that person, they're gonna find out. They're gonna know your true colors anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like you might as well show them when you
Yeah.
first start dating.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe not show all of yourself, you know,
He would
like
always be like, I'm an onion. What?
it's like, keep the mystery alive,
Keep the mystery. I
it's
know.
fun,
Yeah.
But I mean, but yeah, just being genuine,
Yeah.
that's just because that's how you know. That's how you know if like when you're with someone, when you're yourself or on around another person, that will give you a lot of clarity if that person is right for you or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, just being myself around you,
Yeah.
and how easy it was for me. Like I didn't feel like I had to put up a front or anything like that. Like I wasn't afraid to be vulnerable with you. Yeah, that's what made me all the more confident,
Yeah.
in us.
Yeah. No, we
So
definitely, I feel like it's been a personal growth journey, from like when we started, like then meeting like the family and then
yeah,
it's like our friends and like even my friends would be like, I just love how like you guys are together and like who you are in this relationship. And something I loved was also like my friends would be like, I love who like you're becoming, like you're yourself, like you're funny, like you're not losing yourself, and they're like, oh, like you guys like fit well together,
yeah,
And so it's not that I was looking for that affirmation, but it feels good when people see the things that you do. Because, even though people didn't know you, like as time went on, it was like, it makes sense why you guys are together,
absolutely.
and just felt much more at ease.
And I always used to pray that that God, if you want me to be in a marriage, that you make it clear to me who the right woman is. I mean, I always did want to get married, so I would pray that God, let you bless me with the woman that you want me to be with, and make it clear to me. I mean, at the end of the day, we all have to put ourselves on the line and take a chance. But He will give you signs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just that initial feeling, that intuition, so that I initially had after our first date. That's one, and then random times when we went out.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time we were at the beach. It was the first time we went to the beach together.
Yeah.
And like we were looking at the sunset, and then there was some random guy next to us, and he's like, "Are you two married?" And then we're just like, no, no. He's like, well, you should be married. He's like, you guys look good together. You look great. And he was like, you guys should get married. And I'm just like, yeah, we just started dating, He was like, hey, when you know, like, it feels right. And I took that to heart, when he said that. I'm just like, he's right, like, yeah, sure, we look good together, but we look good together because we feel good together.
Yeah.
So it's just like, different things like that. Like I take those moments serious. I feel like that's God talking to me in certain ways of like, that you are with the person who you're meant to be with,
Yeah. And also like, I feel like just trusting your like feelings, because it's like at the end of the day, like your intuition, and like what your body's telling you, like, okay, like I feel safe, like I feel comfortable sharing. So like before, like I was just very guarded, and it did take time for me, to lower my guard down. But ultimately, like I just started feeling like, okay, like I can share these things, I can do these things, and it's like I feel like excited to see you. Like I'm always looking forward to the things that we do together, like our coffee dates. We love that.
What you're into.
I know, like we have a lot of things in common, and I feel like those are the things that like just make the relationship so much better. Because you're not like trying, like you're just like. It's just like who we are, like, and it fits,
So true.
And it hasn't been, I'm not going to say like, oh, it's been like perfectly fine. Like it's been a growth journey, like too, because coming from someone that like would always tell you guys even like, okay, like, do the personal work within yourself, like in therapy and, like it was also a reality check for me to be like, okay, I still have like growth to do within the relationship. And I wouldn't know those things unless I was in a relationship. So like, for me, it was like working through my anxieties, like my overthinking things. Like, okay, what does this mean? Like, how is this going to look like? Like, my brain literally, it's already. You laugh.
I was just thinking back to the first time, like, the first time we kissed. Like, I kissed you, and
oh my
but right before it actually happened, she's already asking, like, oh, but, like, what does this mean? Like, we both go to salsa. And I'm just like,
what if it doesn't work out? Who's gonna like, stop going?
Who's gonna stop going? And I'm just like, I just want to kiss you.
He's like, Okay. He's like, we don't even know what tomorrow brings. And I'm just like, and that should have told me already, like, who he is. Meaning, like, he's very, like, type B, go with the flow. And
Yeah,
I'm just
it's
like,
all right though.
no, I love
Yeah,
it. It's a
yeah.
good balance, you know?
Yeah, you know, I
And,
mean, yeah, I didn't like, it's, you do it. Yeah, it's like, wow, this is serious. We're kissing. But it's all right. It
yeah.
was fun.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like my anxieties. And for you, like, what would you say is like an area that you've had to like work through?
Opening up more.
Mm-hmm.
Not being so guarded all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, calming down. Just not being as tempered. Because I could have a temper. I could lose patience easily when it comes to certain things. But just being with you, it does help me to just relax and stay calm and
Mm-hmm.
not take certain things so serious,
Mm-hmm.
which I appreciate.
Yeah. It's like the
So
balance. We're always like, it's fine.
it's fine,
Everything's
it's all right,
fine.
and I'm just
It'll
like,
be okay.
it's all good,
Take a
it's
deep
all
breath.
right.
Everything's good. Because that's the thing. It's like mine can be my anxiety and then his like the reaction, So
Yeah,
it's like, it's
yeah,
just learning to like be there for each other and be that place where it's like, hey,
yeah.
what are you really feeling? Like, what's happening? Like, talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
And I also feel like what was something that I appreciated also was like when we would have conflicts or things would arise, like we would like work it out there
Mm-hmm.
and like it wouldn't linger to like
Correct.
build up. It would be like, okay, but I love you. I'm in this.
Yeah.
Like, and I just felt like we could have disagreements and it didn't mean like we were going to break up or
Right.
like, oh, it didn't mean that we were like not going to talk. Like,
Correct.
we would always like
It's really
work through it together.
having that communication.
Yeah.
It's just open, honest communication.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, yeah, you could disagree on something, but you don't want to talk it out
Mm-hmm.
to eventually reach an agreement. You want to talk it out to eventually reach an understanding that,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you think this way about something, I think this way about something,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just who we are, and that's just
Yeah.
that's what we're dealing with,
Yeah.
and you make that choice if you're okay with it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I know you think certain things, you think a certain way when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to certain things, as do I. But overall, it's like, yeah, like those hard conversations or those moments of conflict, they're scary to deal with
Mm-hmm.
at first. Um, but they also are opportunities to really learn about your partner.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, overall it's been good. But the key thing is to be open and honest.
Yeah.
Don't share answers with each other. Like don't tell your partner what they want to hear. Like tell them what you feel.
Yeah.
And that's scary. That's
Yeah, it is.
way easier said than done.
Yeah.
That is so much easier said than done. Like everyone tries to put on a front as
Mm-hmm.
if they don't care what people think about them, but when
Yeah.
when you really got to be vulnerable. And honestly, that's been like my biggest growth with you.
Yeah.
It is being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like I've been single for a long time, and I'm just not used to being vulnerable to someone I don't really know that well.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to just being open and being vulnerable with that person,
Mm-hmm.
like it is hard.
Yeah.
But if you really want a relationship to work, that's
Yeah.
that's really a key principle. It's
Yeah.
just be open and honest and just share how you feel.
Yeah. And you did work through that. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that because I know like it's not easy, to do. And like it was just always being like, okay, I know that this is new for both of us in a different level, like of a serious relationship, a healthy relationship, like a godly relationship. Like it's different,
Yeah.
And so like how are we gonna like not repeat certain patterns, like not go to our toxic tendencies or like withdraw or like,
Yeah.
so it was a lot of like communication,
Yeah,
and like, okay,
exactly.
like that was wrong. I didn't handle that the best. And like,
Mhm.
this is what I meant, or, and I appreciate that because overall, like, to be honest, something that I always appreciated from like you was like how just like clear with your intentions with me were like from the front, from the first day.
Yeah.
And over time, if anything, you was to talk about the future and like, but at first it was like, okay, is he love bombing me? And then it would be like, no, but like he's actually doing the things that like he said, like, when you like, introduce me to your family and then like your friends. And then it was like in time, then it was like, okay, like, a key to your house, like, okay, like,
Yeah.
just like you were bringing me into your world, and I really appreciated that because I'm like, okay, he's like open to something that like, I'm in here.
Yeah,
Like I'm
absolutely.
in here,
Yeah, for sure.
and you were very consistent. And I would say that that's something else too that I felt I appreciated was always like from the beginning his consistency of like when he would call, like you would call always at the same time. If you said you were gonna call, you were gonna call, or you were gonna show up, you were gonna show up.
Yeah,
And that like built trust with me to be like, okay, like he is somewhat of a man of his word. And that made me feel really special.
of
So
course.
it was like slowly but surely it was like lowering my guard,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Um,
And another thing too is, yeah, it's. I think what I've learned, being with someone who I actually want to be with and who I feel is the right one for me, is that you reach a point where, like you don't have to hide tendencies of yourself.
yeah.
Um, whether they're good or bad. If you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to hide bad tendencies of yourself, like it's really not you against your partner.
Yeah.
It's not like I have to come off some type of way because I have to make sure that I'm always spot on for her, and that I have to
Mm-hmm.
be my best self for her because that's the only
Mm-hmm.
way she's going to love me.
Yeah.
And that's not really how healthy relationships work.
Mm-mm.
It's like,
They see you through all.
it's opening up and being like, this is an area that I'm weak in, or this is an area that, I struggle with. And, I'm just sharing I'm sharing that about myself with you,
Yeah.
because if you really want to be in a loving, committed relationship, it's never like you against them.
Yeah.
It's you guys against what you're
Yeah.
dealing with.
The problem. Yeah.
Yeah, and that took a while for me to learn,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's one of those things that actually makes a relationship worth being in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's been a lot of more maturity and growth,
for sure,
and
absolutely.
still learning. Like we have moments now where
It's
like
only
in
1 year.
premarital, I know
It's
we still
crazy.
so we're engaged after 10 months, 1 year. So
Yeah.
it's like we're still in like the learning of each other, but we also like are maturing like how we handle things and like
Mm-hmm.
communicate really well. That I feel like that helps us to navigate through things.
Yeah.
So I would say that the past 10 months like have been a lot of growth, a lot of fun experiences. Like I love that we just have so much fun together and we've learned so much, but we've also gone through some challenges and that really honestly also shaped our relationship and
Mm-hmm.
changed it. And so do you want to share about that?
Well, I mean, yeah, my unfortunately, my mom passing away in July. That's the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. Um, yeah, and that's been really tough. And yeah, I mean, something that my aunt had told us when she came to the house shortly after it happened. It was my aunt Millie, and she met you for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and she had already heard a lot of things about you because my mom had told her about you. My uncles, who are my mom's brothers, they were telling her about you. And when she met you, she was like, "Oh wow, like the famous Elizabeth." Thank God you're here. Like God really knew His timing. And right then and there, like when she said that, that put a lot of peace in my heart because, yeah, I know that I wouldn't have been able to go through that alone. Like my mom passing, like she's one of the most important people in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, her passing, handling that alone, that would have been really tough, and I can't imagine what that would have been like, and I don't want to imagine what that was like. I'm just very happy that you were there to help me get through it, because not help me get it, but like you're helping me get through it,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, it's one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you know it's been tough, but you've been making it. You're helping me to cope with it, which I
Yeah.
appreciate.
That was very just heartbreaking and like we were 4 months, 5 months into the
5 months in,
relationship
yeah,
and I met most of your family like for the funeral,
yeah,
you know?
you pretty much met all of them.
Yeah. And it was just like it was just like you never prepare for that,
Mm-hmm.
like you don't know how to handle those things. So it was like you're in a new relationship. It's like I'm seeing you in that situation and it's just like oh my god, like how can I be there for you? And it was
Mm-hmm.
like it was just a lot, and I think like emotionally it was like how I just wanted to make sure like I was there and I was like present and just like this is what it will be like. But literally the day after his mom passed away, I had an event
Yeah,
that I like had to go to.
yeah, I
And it
remember
was
that.
like, and I remember I felt so bad. I'm like, should I go? Should I not? And you're like, no, just go and like come back at night. And that's like what I did.
Yeah.
Um, and it was, yeah, like I feel like the past, what now, 6, 7 months, it's been, yeah, like it has its moments. And I think
Mm-hmm.
now also going into this new season, what we talked about like, milestones, it like comes up even more.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's been hard to navigate.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful to be here for you, and we miss her.
Yeah, we really do. In these moments that we're having, engagement, um, yeah, engagement, wedding season slowly coming upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's bittersweet,
Yeah.
because it's like you have that permanent sadness when you lose someone that you truly love. It's like you just have that permanent sadness, and it's bittersweet because you wish you can share special moments in your life with them,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, you can't. They're just not there to experience it with you. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. You feel like when I proposed to you, like I felt like my mom was shining down on us, and
Mm-hmm.
a part of me did feel like she was there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard, but we're getting through it.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
love you, babe, and I'm
I
here
love you
for
too.
you. And
Thank you.
honestly, watching, that's like what people say, like marry the person that like you can go through, like the passing of your parents, like the
Hmm.
hardest moment. And I feel like we were literally put in that, and it's like, okay, if we can get through this, like
Yeah,
we can get through like a lot of stuff, because like if it brought us closer together as a couple,
I did.
and it honestly just even showed me more like how much I love you and like how much I always will be there for you.
Yeah.
So it
So
has
yeah,
been a bittersweet season, and just, yeah, it has been a lot of just being open, right, to like learning how to continue having a healthy relationship and learn how to love each other and understand each other and communicate. And yeah, we're just excited for this new season.
absolutely. So yeah, it's not wedding season.
Yes.
You know.
So we're gonna do a whole episode about that, about like proposal. We went to go see a venue today. It was not it, but it's
Not what we're looking
okay. Yes,
for.
we're not what we're looking for, but yes, we'll do a whole another episode about that engagement, just like the next steps and everything. But just wanted to do like an intro video because I know I've shared a lot about my life, and this is a huge part of my life now. It's me and my fiance,
Absolutely.
and just, yeah, just wanted to bring you guys in. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's podcast episode. Do you have any last words as we wrap up?
No, I'm just happy to be here, and I'm actually glad that we waited till now.
Mm.
That I'm appearing on your podcast for the first
Mm-hmm.
time as your fiance.
Hmm.
No longer your boyfriend.
No.
It's like
I know.
there's intentions. There it
There it
is.
is. Clear.
Yes, clear as
Off the
day.
market. There
That's
we
it.
are.
Absolutely.
So no,
So happy to be a part of this journey with you, babe.
thank you,
And
baby.
you know, so yeah, that's all.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to share this with a friend. Comment down below. Were you shocked? Like, what are your thoughts? And what maybe topics you want us to talk about more of, like in future episodes together? Because we would love to do this like maybe once a quarter,
Mm-hmm.
maybe something like that. So
Yeah.
thank you guys, and I will see you guys next week.
Bye bye.